wanted to talk a little bit about how my diapers have worn over time. I've gotten a couple of questions about how things are holding up, in particular like this Grovia diaper. I also have some of my oldest diapers that I've owned that I want to talk to you guys about, just how they have worn with time. I thought this was a cool concept for a video, but the hard thing about it is telling exactly how old these guys are, because I'm very bad about dates, and some of the websites that I first initially started purchasing things from, I wasn't like a member. I didn't like actually sign in with an account or anything, so I don't have like the records of my first purchases on a lot of different sites, and so I don't know exactly when these things were part of my stash, but I'm gonna try my best to remember at least kind of how old some of these diapers are. The boys are both awake and running around like crazy, so you will definitely hear them throughout the video today, but let's just sit down and talk about some of the oldest diapers I have and how they are holding up. So the first diapering system that I ever bought were a set of like 6 Thirsties size 2 covers. They're duo wrap covers, along with some pre-folds that I no longer use. I think I turned them all into fitted diapers, I believe, but I don't really use pre-folds anymore. So this is like the oldest cover that I have, and it's about, I would say, 2.5, almost a little closer to the 3-year-old mark. So that's how long we've been using this. It's been through Calvin, who is my 3-year-old who's now potty trained, and through Eren, who is my 20-month-old, and he is not potty trained. So it's been through 2 kids, kind of. And one thing that's really apparent to me about these Thirsties covers are that this inner leg gusset elastic is definitely discolored. It's definitely kind of got a yellow tint to it. Also, in addition to it not looking as pretty and white as the rest of the trim, it is kind of relaxing. I wouldn't say it's totally relaxed. To me, I don't know if this is correct or not, but to me, totally relaxed means it's not even stretchy anymore. It just kind of like sits there. These are not totally relaxed, but they're definitely less stretchy than they used to be, because I have here a size 3 cover that I bought maybe 6 months ago or something like that. Maybe a little longer than that, maybe 8 months or something. They are still much more stretchy than this guy here, so I can definitely tell the difference between those leg gusset elastics there. Other than that, the PUL looks totally fine. There's no like bubbling or weird stuff going on, no scratches or any issues with the PUL itself. It's just these leg gussets here that have been definitely worn with time. Now, we did use these on our toddler, Calvin, even when he probably should have been sizing up to the size 3. So we did kind of stretch them to their max. You can definitely tell that things are just stretched out, just used. But I do love these covers. I think they're really great and roomy for covering like big fitted diaper situations, for like bedtime, for nighttime, overnight. They're just really roomy and big and awesome. And then if you go up to the size 3, they're like massive. These are gigantic. So although they have worn significantly over time, I do still love them, and I think I will repurchase them in the future with more babies if these like totally crap out on me, just because of how roomy and big they are. They cover everything for overnight. I love them for overnight diapers. Now, speaking of overnight diapers, I have a couple of little inside pieces here. This is a Green Mountain diaper size large workhorse, and I've owned this for, I think I have owned these since Calvin was about 11 months old, so that would be like April. So probably about 2.5 years I've been using these guys. And I want to show you a little bit up close on this guy. You can see, hopefully you can see, there's definitely some wear going on around the leg section here, and also on the inside on this little flap here, you can see some wear all around the edges and stuff, but the elastics are still awesome, the snaps all still work, everything else is looking really good. This is just like your typical, you know, fabric that's been washed a million times, it's gonna have some kind of wear on it, and these ones definitely show that wear. Now I've been using these Thirsties size large hemp inserts about the same amount of time as I've been using these workhorses. I use them together in a nighttime diaper, and these don't show any of that, I don't even know what you would call it, like it just looks worn, like it doesn't, I mean you can tell this is a used thing, but it doesn't have like the little, maybe starting to get a little teeny tiny bit of wear around some of the edges here, but nothing significant, I would say. The sniff test, these are all still smelling great. I don't have issues with them coming out stinky or being weird or anything. I don't use any kind of special detergent. I just use like a 7th generation free and clear kind of thing is what I'm using right now. I did use Tide for a long time. They smell fine. There's no, you know, weird barnyard kind of smell going on with them. They have held up really well in that department, and that's great because you guys know I love my natural fibers, and that's one of the benefits to having natural fiber diapers. They're not going to hold on to the stink like a microfiber synthetic polyester thing is going to. Here I have one of the Thirsties pre-folds. This is a size 2 hemp pre-fold diaper that is like open throughout the middle. It's like a big tube of fabric. This is showing a little bit of wear. I have a couple of these, and one thing that I do notice is that they definitely, like every one of them starts coming apart a little at this little seam here, and I do have to restitch it every once in a while. There's just, sometimes it just gets torn or it just isn't holding up as well as the rest of the thing. But overall, it's showing just a teeny tiny bit of wear along the edges, but nothing crazy. Once again, these are all estimates on like the time frame, but this is a size extra large of the workhorse, and I don't have any wear. I don't have any wear like where it's coming apart or where it's looking like kind of raggedy like the size large is. This extra large, which I've only owned for, let's just say 8 months or something, this little guy is looking still pretty good. In case you haven't noticed, Eren's new thing is to just yell, "Mom," over and over. Okay, with those aside, I have a Grovia 1, and this is something that I've gotten a couple of questions about on my original video review on this guy. Let me see when I did that review so I can tell you how old this is. So I bought it in November, or well, I did the review in November of last year, so I probably had it for a couple extra months. So I've probably had this maybe a little bit over a year at this point, and it's still holding up well. We still use it for bedtime. It does have microfiber in it. It's one of the very few items that I keep in the house that have microfiber in them. And one thing I will say about this guy is that the snap on the back broke off. So just FYI, I could just have like a weirdo one. I'm not sure how to fix it because I would have to like pierce through this, and I don't want to like take it all apart or anything. So I just lay the insert inside there. It's not a big deal to me. But one thing that's definitely apparent is that it has shrunk quite a bit. This insert just feels like you have a whole bunch at the top here and quite a bit at the back here. The insert itself is quite a bit smaller than the diaper, so it is a little bit awkward to put on. Sometimes I have to pull this front all the way up because I have boys and they pee more toward the front, so the back is not as covered as you would like once you pull up the insert. But overall, I do still like this diaper. We still use it for nighttime. It's probably used once or twice a week at this point, and it's held up pretty well. The elastics feel really good. Like I said, it's only about a year old though, so I would hope that it would still be holding up really well. Even the sniff test, it smells totally fine, even though it does have the microfiber in there. I haven't had any stink issues with it. It's holding up pretty well, actually. Other than the snap on the inside for the insert, the snaps have all been very fine. These have no problems with any of these. And I always use it on the snap setting. It does come with some like Velcro hook and loop that you can also attach to it to use, but I always use the snap setting, so I don't know how the Velcro holds up with time just because I don't use it that way. It's kind of a cool diaper though, kind of cool options that you can actually use it either way though. Kind of interesting. Let's talk about my favorites, the Green Mountain Diapers Clothies Muslin one size flats. I don't know how old these are. Let me check my phone to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and estimate that I've had these nearly 2 years now, and they still look beautiful. I don't have any with like holes or anything going on in them. You can see a little bit of wear on the edges, just not like anything crazy, just like how your jeans would wear over time. I'll show you guys a close-up. So I will say that they've lost some of their softness. They're definitely not like rough or anything. They're still very fluffy. They just feel nice and poofy, but they are not as soft as I remember them. And these one size are not as soft as the size larges that I have that are a little bit younger than these. I feel like I've had the larges maybe a year and the one size is like 2 years. Like I said, all of these dates are estimated. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, so I feel like they're not as soft as they used to be, but they're still very plush and fluffy flats. So this is the first buttons cover that I ever owned. So I have had it for approximately 2.5 years, because I would have bought it in like the spring of 2016. And it is definitely more relaxed than my other buttons. They're not totally relaxed, no. It's still pretty stretchy, but you can just tell when you put it on. Like I always feel like it's got more of a leg gap than my others, just because the legs are not quite as tight as they used to be. Not that it's, not that it's bad. One thing about buttons covers though, I have found there's a lot of, what would you call it? Like variation. Like some of them have been crap for the PUL, and I have sent them back and gotten new ones, and then those new ones have still been crap, like my cherry, the red one, and I have another one too that's like really, I have a lot of buttons covers though, so for me to have like 20 covers and one of them has been like crap, I can't really attribute that to like being like a terrible thing, like buttons are terrible or anything. It's just that I've had a couple that have been kind of crappy for the PUL, like they have bubbled up and just not looking good. My red one especially is like that, and I feel like my lumberjack one, which is the red and black plaid one, I feel like that one was kind of like that too. Did I hit you with the diaper? So yeah, I can definitely tell that the elastics are wearing down, but it's not like it's falling apart or anything. We still use it on the daily. The PUL in this guy is still good. Everything still holds up really well on this guy here, and most of my buttons diapers are like that. They are a double layer of PUL, so even if the one inside layer does give out on you, a lot of people say, well, it's double layer, so the other layer is fine. But to me, if one layer is starting to go, how am I to know if the other one is not also starting to go? It's inside. I can't tell, I can't look at it and see. So I don't know about that. I haven't had any leaking issues or problems with my cherry, the red one that is definitely wearing in the PUL department. But I'm just saying, just letting you know how they're wearing. Here's the last guy I wanted to talk about today. This is a Thirsties natural all-in-one, and I've owned this since right before Eren was born, I believe. So almost, a year and a half, 2 years or something like that now. And I am not a big fan of this diaper. Inside here, you can see I have an extra little booster. This is a Green Mountain Diapers hemp size small. Those have held up really well. No wear on those guys. And I've had those since Eren was born, so a year and a half, 20 months or whatever. Now for the Thirsties all-in-one itself, I'm just not a big fan of these. They're a hemp cotton mixture of fabric, and they hold, I don't know if you can really see super well, but they definitely hold stains more than my other diapers. I mean, not that it's terrible. I mean, obviously it doesn't still have the newborn stains anymore, but they do hold stains, and they hold onto poo, and they're hard to spray into the toilet. The poo just kind of like, the fabric is just not good for spraying stuff off. It just wants to like catch everything, like grab hold of it. So it's kind of difficult in that way. I do find that these sometimes have a little bit of a smell. It just smells like a diaper. Like, I don't know, you can just kind of very slightly, you can hint at it. So I do try to hang these as much as possible, but whenever I try to throw them in the dryer, I always seem to have like issues with them kind of having a little tinge of a smell, just FYI. So I also don't think that the absorbency is that great. I find that I have to add these little booster guys in there to get them to last the 2 hours on my Eren. And Eren is not really that heavy of a wetter. I feel like Calvin was a much heavier wetter than Eren is at this age. But yeah, so overall, I'm just not a fan of these natural all-in-ones. I wish I hadn't have bought them. I have 3, and then I have like 6 at least for like newborn ones, and like I wish I hadn't have spent so much money on them because all-in-ones can get expensive. So those are all the diapers that I have for today's video. If you know of any other diapers that I own and you want to see an update on them, let me know in the comments down below so I can do a part 2 of this video. These are just some of the oldest diapers that I have and some of the diapers that I've been getting questions on. And so I thought I would bring them to you guys first and then ask you guys for other suggestions or requests, because I own a lot of stuff, and you guys, if you watch my videos regularly and you see all my reviews, you should probably know like some of the stuff that I own. So if you have anything in particular that you're like interested in seeing the wear, like seeing it up close of it, or being able to tell like how it's lasted over the couple of years that I've owned it or whatever, please let me know. And some of the stuff is a little bit new, so even if you want to see something that's only like 6 months old, I can still totally show it to you guys, but I just thought I would go with the oldest stuff for today's video. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.